Good morning. Again, I bring you greetings. On this morning, we are so blessed to have you participate in our annual breast cancer awareness program, where we actually honor our survivors and we recognize what this month is for. So if we can pause for just a moment, and I ask that you take a journey with me. And it simply says, it's me again, only better. I fought the battle and won. Now I'm about to be back and better than ever. For cancer has been a mirror held up in front of me. It forced me to take a good look at myself and bluntly ask, where are you going? It made me redefine my priorities, teaching me that it really is the little things that make life so sweet. Cancer asked me to embrace the chance and the change in my life, the charge that forced me to grow and become the person I am today. I always wanted to be better, but never seemed to have the time to achieve that. Change always involves risk. Stepping from the known to the unknown, I had to embrace the uncertainties and accept that I was not in control. It's been the ultimate test of my character, forcing me to trust my heart and to reach deep inside for strength and power I never knew I had. I came to realize that even though I had cancer, I was never a victim. I am a survivor. In my heart and spirit, always will I be. Even if the test takes me and makes me have my last breath. Cancer truly is a defining moment, a moment that made me redefine the impossible. And since I did, nothing will ever be the same again. I will be better. And on behalf of this great institution, we welcome you all, and I thank you again for being here. I understand what being a survivor really is. I'm no longer a survivor, but we are, and the ladies that we salute on today, the survivors that are here this morning, we are overcomers, and we are blessed to be here. Thank you as we proceed with our program. Today, I may serve as your moderator in recognition of all of ASU and our other breast cancer survivors, in honor of those who have also fallen and lost their battle. To our president, to our speaker for the hour, to all of the platform, to each of you, thank you for sharing with us. Today we will have our invocation by Miss Olivia Charles. Yes, that's my daughter. Our welcome by Miss Catherine Kiki Varakis, a survivor herself, and our greetings by Miss Rondasia Dunn, who is our Miss Albany State, followed by our remarks by none other than our president, Madam Marion Fedrick. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. To our esteemed leader of this great institution, President Marion Fedrick, Dr. Jones, other invited guests, students, faculty, staff, community members, it is my honor and a privilege to extend a warm welcome to you this morning for attending our breast cancer awareness program. Cancer affects all of us, whether you're a mother, daughter, sister, aunt, friend, or co-worker. On July 23rd, 2009, when I heard those dreadful words, "You have cancer," it was like I was handed a death sentence. I cried uncontrollably and immediately thought of my two sons, who were just 6 and 16 at the time. I thought of not seeing them graduate from high school or matriculate to college. I thought of never being the mother of the groom at their weddings or playing with my grandchildren. Yes, it was a scary time for my family, but with prayers, faith, and fortitude, we persevered. Was it easy? No, it never is. It was a roller coaster of emotions, but I realized the battle was not mine alone to fight. So as we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month, let us remember that cancer is limited in what it can do. It cannot eradicate love. It cannot shatter hope. It cannot erode faith. It cannot silence courage. And it cannot destroy our spirit. Today we gather for a worthy cause and salute all cancer survivors. We support those still in the fight and honor those who have lost their battle to cancer. To all my co-survivors, you survived what you thought would kill you. You're still here. So straighten your crown and move forward in faith like the queen that you are. Again, welcome to our Breast Cancer Awareness Program, and it is our desire that you are blessed, encouraged, and continue to remain hopeful. Thank you.
Greetings, faculty, staff, students, and everyone here visiting today. On the behalf of the 2020-2021 Royal Court, welcome to the Breast Cancer Awareness Program. It is with immense gratitude that we are able to come together to bring awareness to the second most cancer among women in the U.S. today. I am so excited to be here to support the fighters, admire the survivors, and honor the taking. Thank you. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, Albany State University. I'm going to first tell y'all that this is the first cancer survivor honoring that I've been to since 2016. So I'm going to get through this without crying, I promise, but I'm going to keep my glasses on just in case. So according to cancer.org, approximately 1 in 5 women, that's 13%, will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 39 of those women will die from breast cancer. And the risk of breast cancer is about 1.5 times higher for women with a family of history of breast cancer. But please know that most women don't have that history to rely on. And I know in 2014, when my oldest sister called to tell me that she had breast cancer, it was extremely, extremely difficult. Now, my oldest sister was a teacher. And she called, and we always talked every morning. Well, not every morning, because I would normally ignore the calls depending on what was going on. But we would talk most mornings, and it would be our 30-minute call, and we're done. This time she called me at 4 in the afternoon. And she says, "Hey, sis, I already knew something was wrong." And then she proceeded to say, "I need you not to freak out when I tell you this, because I'm going to need you to take care of everybody else." And she told me she had cancer. Then she told me that there's some things I need you to do to help me through this. And just like a teacher, she gave me her checklist on what she wanted me to do, and truly expected me to do that at every step of the way. And so for 4 years, we fought that battle. And when she decided she'd had enough, she let the battle go. My family, and I have a large family, and we decided after that we have a big old bonfire. So everything we had that was pink got burned. Everything we had that had cancer on it got burned. And so I've recently realized that it's not just about those that survive, but it's honoring those who don't make it through the fight or have fought as hard as they could and the fight is over. And that's okay. One of the things I do want us to make sure that we are always doing is staying in the fight, staying in the battle. Thank you. staying in the battle. My sister Cozy fought for quite a long time. Cancer moving throughout her body, and she never ever gave up. She focused on those that she knew she would leave behind, her other 4 sisters, her 5 brothers, my mom, and she wanted us to know that this was not normal, that you can fight it, that you can battle. And so we became her focus. We became her reason for living. We became the reason why she went to chemo, went to radiation. When it moved to another part of her body, she did it again. She did it again. She did it again for 4 years straight. So while the breast cancer organizations are investing the most money in breast cancer than any other cancer, we have to make sure that we stay supporting those efforts. If there's an opportunity to give to that effort and to that research, give to the effort in that research. If there's an effort to support somebody who is going through that battle, support that person. Remember, they're going through way more than you're going through as you're looking at them going through the battle. When you come across folks who have been in this, who are going through this, who have had someone else who's gone through this, just hug them. Because you know what? They need your support. They need your encouragement. They need you to go back and buy that pink outfit that you've burnt in that fire. They need you to be on their side. They need you. Always be there for them. Always be there to support them. And I encourage you all, as you're going through, as you're seeing this or anything else affect your community, please take charge of it. Because at the end of the day, it will be all of us who make a difference in destroying this cancer that has plagued our bodies for way too long. So please, stay invested, stay involved, and more importantly, please stay encouraged. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Ms. ASU. Thank you, Ms. Kiki Varakis, and to Ms. Olivia. We will now have a daughter of a survivor, none other than Ms. LaTara Thomas, followed by the introduction of our speaker, Madam President of our Student Government Association, Ms. Aliyah Johnson, followed by the speaker for this time, none other than my awesome doctor, Dr. Daniel Adam Jones, the radiation oncologist for today. In that order.
Good morning. Giving honor to all of the survivors, the fallen angels, and the ones that had to withstand the fight. Anybody that knows Miss Charles knows that she loves the Lord, and she is a worshiper. And she called me last night and she asked me to sing this song, and it always makes me emotional because I know what it means to her. Through all I have gone through, Lord, it was you. Through all I have gone through, Lord, it was you. It was you. It was you pulling me through. It was you, nobody but you pulling me through. 'Cause when I stumbled and when I cried, when I felt like I wanted to die, and when my friends turned and they walked away, you were right here to stay. It was you. It was you, Lord, pulling me through. It was you, nobody but you, pulling me through.
'Cause when I stumbled and when I cried, when I felt like I wanted to die, when those friends turned and they walked away, you were right here to stay. 'Cause it was you pulling me through. 'Cause he'll never walk out on you. No, never. No, never. God will never walk out on you. No, never. No, never. 'Cause I am a witness that he'll never. No, never. No, never. 'Cause through all I have gone through, it was nobody but you. 'Cause through all you will go through, it'll be nobody but him. Thank you.
I myself am a daughter of a survivor, so I just want to say it's a blessing to actually be here to recognize those survivors, those fallen angels, and those who are currently battling breast cancer right now. Dr. Jones was raised in Stocksboro, Georgia, and attended the University of Georgia, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree from Mercer University School of Medicine, and his former training in radiation oncology while attending the University of Minnesota. He joined the Radiation Oncology Associates in July 2014. He is board certified by the American Board of Radiology. He is appointed community faculty for Mercer School of Medicine in Augusta University Medical College of Georgia. He is married to the former Haley Duncan, and he and Haley have 2 sons, Duncan and Portland, and 1 daughter, Mabel. He enjoys spending his spare time with his family. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Jones.
Thank you, Aliyah. It is such a privilege to be here today, to be here amongst Albany State University, celebrating breast cancer survivors, celebrating awareness, early detection, and prevention of breast cancer even. I'd like to just comment a little before we get going about the folks on this stage. Already impressed, lots of powerful voices out here today, and it's nice to gather with those survivors, those affected personally by breast cancer. And Madam President, I'm so sorry to hear about your sister. That actually reminds me of something in our department, actually since March, and we all know what happened in March here in Albany. But every morning we gather for a huddle, we gather for a meeting to talk about our day. And since March, we've been saying a prayer every day. And about half the time, I'll have the opportunity to lead that prayer. And it's important to remember, it's important for us to remind each other. Sometimes we know we're not able to get the cure. And my very prayer from this morning was, Lord, help us to remember that every day we have the opportunity to positively impact somebody. We have the opportunity to help them with something, whether it be pain, whether it be a short-term goal. And I can imagine that those were some of the things your sister was going through. I'd like to also speak for a moment about Miss Charles. I met Miss Charles approximately 5 years ago. In fact, my senior partner, Dr. Mendenhall, was her original doctor, and over the years, Dr. Mendenhall became a little less available in the clinic, and I had the privilege of taking over Miss Charles's surveillance, and I want to tell you a little bit about what she means to us. And I know that you know her out here at Albany State. I know she's a bit of a mover and a shaker out here, but what I see in Miss Charles is a strong woman, a survivor. And what I've seen in her over the years is she will show up at the most opportune times, normally joining a new patient who has a new diagnosis. Usually it's a young lady who may not have their husband there, may not have a daughter, may not have her mother there, but she has Miss Charles. And as we go through the diagnosis, the treatment options, she's able to lean on Miss Leslie for guidance and strength. And I can tell you over the years, I will walk into a room meeting a patient and I see Miss Charles sitting there knowing that she's there for support. And it's always been a pleasure for me to see that. So thank you. I like to just generally talk about the landscape of breast cancer surveillance, just talk a little bit about treatment and outcomes and where we've gone in the past 10 years. And then I'm always happy to take any sort of questions, whether it be formal or informal questions if the need comes. So last couple of decades, the outcomes for treatment of breast cancer have gotten really good. And as doctors, sometimes we get confused. We like to take credit for that, but that's really not the case. The credit, now while treatment has gotten better, I do believe that, surgery, systemic therapy, and radiation, really the biggest improvements have come in screening and early detection. That's really where it happens. And as a resident, we were studying publications from the 70s and 80s to help us learn about the history of breast cancer. What we were seeing in that era were patients presenting with big cancers that you could feel, palpable cancers. Now what we're seeing in reality, cancers that really can't even be felt, really not even noticeable, screened cancers. And what we see is a shifting of the stage. So over the last couple of decades, patients are coming in with silent cancers, cancers that may not even have become evident over the next couple of years. So with that comes a dramatic improvement in outcomes. So when I have the opportunity to speak, I always talk about the importance of screening. And I am an avid supporter of mammograms starting at the age of 40. I do believe that there is a role for earlier imaging for patients who, or for young ladies who may have had a personal relationship with another person in their family, a cancer survivor. There are some special guidelines for even earlier screens than that. I will say that in the past 10 years, we have learned a lot. In fact, we're now using different genetic tests, different risk stratification models to determine a best screening method for a particular patient. What we all have known for years is that a patient needs a mammogram every year, but what we're actually seeing now is patients have independent risk factors that may place them at a higher risk for cancer. So while the average woman walking around may be at a 12 or 13% risk, it may be where they have a certain collection of genetic and familial factors where their risk may actually be 25 or 30%. And we know that today based on modeling done from patients over the past 20 years. So what happens is, as a patient comes in for their screen, if they elect into the, quote, modeling or high-risk program, that score is run on them. And I know it may be a little scary to think about, but if someone scores into a 20% or higher risk category, they are then offered the option to do alternating breast MRI with mammogram. MRI are thought to be a lot more sensitive for breast cancer than mammogram. So that's a new option. We also have risk reduction models for patients who score high risk, whether it be taking a pill which blocks estrogen, which can prevent breast cancer, or whether it be even aggressive surgery for patients who may be at a higher risk for predisposed cancer, those patients with familial cancer such as BRCA and others. So that's generally the kind of the newer concept. Phoebe does have that integrated model through the Carleton Breast Center. There are several physicians which are willing to see these patients for a consult to discuss the modeling. It's, for me, the importance is not to scare someone, but just to give them knowledge. And I always say knowledge is power. So if I know what my score is and I'm comfortable with a once-a-year mammogram and I've spoken to a physician and I know my options, then all of a sudden that person has knowledge and power. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions or comment further on anything else if anybody'd like to add something. All right, thank you for your time.
Jones, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and speak to us. I met, actually, Miss Kiki Varakis and I met this beautiful young lady, if not last year, the year before. I don't know how she found out that we were survivors, but she comes to us from another awesome sister who is a sister to us by our affiliation, and that's our sorority, none other than Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But before she entered into that organization, she was very motivated to share her story as a daughter and how her mother has been very instrumental to her in her life and coming through as a survivor and an overcomer. And so I would like to ask Miss Jordyn Terrell to come and speak to us before we close our program and have our Heels, Pink Heels representative to just share the reason for the Pink Heels fire truck with us today. Ms. Terrell, if you would come.
Good morning. I want to begin by thanking Soror Kiki Veracruz and Soror Charles for inviting me to speak with you all this morning. Breast cancer awareness has always been very important to me and my family for many years. My aunt is a survivor of almost 30 years, and my mom is a survivor of 10 years by the grace of God. I wasn't alive when my aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer and overcame this horrible disease, but I do know that it took a toll on my family since she was the first person to be diagnosed. When I was 10 years old, my mother sat me, my little brother, my dad, and my grandparents down one night to share that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, I didn't truly grasp how serious this was because, I was 10 years old. My mind couldn't even fathom the idea of anything bad happening to my own mom. When I went to school for the next couple of months, almost all of my teachers sat and prayed with me, and even though I was young, I felt like they were praying harder than usual. It was at that moment that I realized that what my mom was going through was very serious. This was even more apparent when our pastor asked for my family to come to the altar for prayer. Over time, I saw that she was beginning chemo, and once she cut her hair off, it became very real for me and my little brother. Even though I was quite young and very scared, I made sure that my brother didn't see that side of me. I made sure that he knew that our prayers meant something. It was kind of hard seeing my mom in so much pain and not being able to give her a hug to help her feel my personal love and support. However, I feel like the entire time, my mom never showed any form of weakness. She always showed strength and perseverance. It was very inspiring to see that fight in her eyes, and I've always strived to be just as strong in any situation that I face today. Through prayer and faith, my mom beat breast cancer, and I couldn't be more proud of her fight and blessed to still have her here with me. I thank God every day for what He has done for me and my family. I know that there are plenty students here who probably have a very similar testimony as mine. I want to end with how important it is to maintain breast cancer awareness in any way that you can. I stay involved in raising awareness through an organization called Posh for a Purpose. This is a nonprofit organization that uplifts breast cancer survivors and their caregivers and hosts fundraising events and seminars to raise awareness. This organization is special to me because it was started by one of my mom's dear friends. She was inspired by my mom's fight and made her the face of the organization. It gives me great pleasure to see her and my aunt here with me today. I would like to take a moment to introduce my mom, Michelle Terrell, and my aunt, Charlene Bland. If you guys could please stand. These are my two sheroes. I want to end with prayer is very strong. Let me repeat that. Prayer is very strong. Luke 1:37 says, "With faith, all things are possible." For those of you in this audience who may have lost a loved one to breast cancer, if I may, I would like to offer this word of encouragement. Remember their love and never forget the priceless times you shared with them. For those of you who know of loved ones who are still fighting, join them in the fight. Do whatever you can to encourage them. Keep them motivated and inspired. Always remember that they too are an inspiration. So always keep your prayers strong and your faith stronger. Thank you.
As we prepare to end our program, and after we end the program, we're going to seal it with forming the human ribbon that's on our lawn right here in front of the Billy C. Black building. But before we end, I'd simply like to introduce to you Mr. Martin, who comes to us with the Pink Heels, and he's going to just share how they are so instrumental in bringing joy into the lives of survivors. And if I may ask, before we end our program, will the survivors please stand? Today we honor you as well as our fallen sisters, and we salute you on today, and we have a token of appreciation that some of the young ladies and gentlemen will bring to you. So if you will remain standing as Mr. Martin shares with you, we will make sure that we appreciate you for being here on today. Thank you again, and we honor you.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here, part of this ceremony. We really enjoy it, and it's our honor to be here. Pink Heels is an organization that partners with public safety, medical personnel, local businesses that like to come together to bring communities together. We do that by spreading hope, love, and awareness, not just for breast cancer, but for all cancers, all types of sicknesses or illnesses, or anything that somebody may be going through that may bring them down. We go and try to lift them up by bringing them joy. Let them know that the community is behind them. We love them and support them. And we go on different home visits, and each signature on the side of the truck represents a home visit or an event that we've been to, and we allow the survivors or the family members of people that fought cancer, and they can sign the truck in their memory. But that's what Pink Heels does in general. I know that was very short, but I thank you for allowing us to be here, and we will enjoy the rest of our time.
Some of you see that we do have a table full of gifts, but Pink Heels, instead of taking honorarium, because they don't necessarily take donations, but I'm a believer of giving. And it's better to give than to receive. And so they asked if we would share some toys in order to give to the survivor, the children of the survivors. So we have a table over here that have toys on them, and I thank my ASU family for those that have contributed to that. And it's not too late, but today, since they are here, we will give them those toys. And if you want to still contribute, please let us know. But I'd also like to give a special thank you to all of the guys that were here today to help us set up, and the police department, because they were very instrumental in rallying to get toys and things for this day. And so Chief, in his absence, I think I saw Covington, we salute you all and we honor you on behalf of our president and this great institution. To the survivor sisters, we honor you and we bless you for being who you are on today, and we thank you for being here on today.